Okay,
Yes.
Grandma, can you tell me a little bit about what you remember as a child? Some of the things you remember struggling with as a child.
Well, let's see. Well, for one thing, I would say that when I went to bed at night, I just went to bed, period. So it was like 7 o'clock. My younger brother, was about 2.5 years younger than me, but I went to bed with him. We both went to bed together, and by that time I was like maybe 4.5, 5. And we went to bed 7 o'clock. Bang! I went upstairs. There were no good nights. I don't remember that. And we just went to the bedroom. I went to my bedroom, and I was there alone. And then until my friend next door came, Todd, not Todd, her name was Grace. Todd was her last name. Her parents drank. Her father especially, he'd get drunk every night. So, but she'd come upstairs and we would talk by the window until real late. She'd say, well, they're arguing now downstairs. And anyway, but I would wait until my next sister, my older sister, would come. I'll be quiet, turn it off now.
What about, can you tell me a little bit about the day that Grace told you about your mother?
Oh, yes. So I was older then. However, I had suspected all along things weren't the way they should be. I never really felt like she was my mother for many reasons. Not that she was mean, but it was mainly because she kind of left me alone, so to speak. And so Grace one day said to me, we would chew gum, and we'd take our bubble gum and we'd put it on the rail outdoors because both of us knew we wouldn't get another piece for about 2-3 days. So we'd save it for the next day. But on one of those days, she said to me, don't you know you don't have your own mother? And I said, really? And I said, why do you know that? Well, your brothers are stepbrothers and their name is Postma. What's the matter with you? And I said, well, I knew there was something strange, but I didn't know. So that night I went to bed and I said to my older sister, the oldest one, who is now 92, 93, said to her, is it true we don't have our own mother? And she said, that's not true. She said, we do have her. So in the meantime, she went downstairs and mentioned it to my parents, and they both said to her, well, go up and tell her it is true. So she came back up and said, it is true. And of course with that I cried a lot, and I cried all night. I remember I couldn't get to sleep. And I did a lot of crying for many days after that too. But then I knew that something was wrong, and I found out that that was really true. And that was when I was 11 years old. Because I thought to myself, how dumb can you be? It is true, your brothers are postmen and you're pilemen. And so, but that was it. And then the other things we had when we would sit by the table, oftentimes, was very organized. My father was very faithful when it came to spiritual life. And we always had prayer, of course. And then we would read the Bible afterwards, Psalms. And I learned the Psalms in school, so I could learn them with him. Reading them, I would know them half of the way. And he would sing with us every night after dinner. We would, before it was late, 7 o'clock, we would go by the piano and sing hymns. We sang that for years and years. He'd want all of the kids there. Of course, they all didn't. As they got older, they gradually left.
Can you sing me a little bit of one of the hymns you would sing?
Oh, dear. There are all kinds of hymns. And but then he played the piano. And so as that started, I was playing the piano through those years, off and on, trying. I wanted to learn to play the piano. And I had girlfriends who had lessons, and I used to go with them. That was in high school, however. And I'd go to them with their lesson because I wanted so badly to have lessons, but we didn't have the money for it. However, my oldest brother had violin lessons. And to this day, did mention that to him not too long ago, that you were lucky because you had violin lessons, but I didn't have any lessons. But I learned through my father, because he's a very smart man, and his father taught them, and they taught the organ. So the boys all played the organ in church. That was Henry and Lou and Garrett. They all played organ in church.
So your father taught you how to play?
And he gave me, I have his legacy, I know for sure.
Okay.
He gave us the music legacy.
But did you teach yourself the notes and how to
Oh,
do
yeah. Well, then, as I went on to school, in the 2nd and 3rd grade, she started us with singing. I sang right away, early on. My father said I used to stand on the counter in the store when I was not even 2, and I'd sing and dance, and they'd give me a quarter or a little money, and I'd put it in my pocket and keep this money because that was great. We were making money, and, I was showing off, of course, but I loved it. And so as I got older, I got to be more on the piano all the time, and I know that he wanted that for me, too. And then as I got older, of course, I kept singing, and I sang with my girlfriend in church. We sang in all the churches, the Reformed churches and Christian Reformed in Grand Rapids. We went all over, Trudy Vanderlei and myself.
So was the piano something that you could kind of use to escape your home life? Was it a way that, or was it a way that you could kind of connect with your father?
No, because I was always singing. We always sang. But that started. But I started with the piano.
So was music kind of a way that you felt you could find yourself?
Oh, yes. I know that. That was my forte.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. That was important to me. Very important. So I started to sing with her, and then when I got out of Christian High Choir, then I got into Calvin Oratorio and tried out, and Sweats was there, Professor Sweats, and I got in right away and sang, through those years that were there in Grand Rapids. Slowly on got into the Grand Rapids Symphony, sang with the Symphony, Albert Smith, and I always sang in church choir, always. Twice on Sunday, was it, Adrian? Yeah. Twice on Sunday. All those years I sang always. Always. It was everything to me, music. And I still sing the hymns at night. I wrote down the other night at 2 o'clock in the morning the hymn of A Wonderful Savior. Is Jesus